Heavenly Father, thank you so much for tonight, God. Thank you so much for every single person that is here tonight, God. I know that they are not here by accident, but you have guided their steps to just come into community and to come and join us tonight, God. We thank you so much for all that you're doing within this within these friendships, within our relationships with each other, within the growth of our own spiritual walk with you, God. We're just so excited for what you're doing, what's to come, and for tonight, God. I'm so excited for our guest speaker to share what it's like to set our goals, the difference between goals and commitments, and just this ambition-setting workshop that we are going to get into tonight, God. I lift up this night to you, and I know that you're going to work through us. It's in your name I pray. Amen. Amen. All right. So Eric Stiller is an awesome, awesome guy. He is actually Shauna's boss over here. And he's an incredible speaker. He has founded, purchased, and led multiple companies throughout his 30-year career and has served in executive leadership roles at globally recognized companies such as Motorola, United Technologies, and General Dynamics. He is most proud of mentoring and promoting more than 50 employees to roles with greater responsibilities and higher incomes, all as part of God's plan for his career. He believes that his sole purpose in life is to help others grow. So let's give it up for Eric Stiller. Woo! Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. So am I allowed to move around a little bit or no? Okay, good. I'm not good to stay still, huh, Shauna? Yeah, I don't stay still well. Okay, let me say a quick prayer here, too, as we get started. Okay, God, look, we know you're the one in control. You got the plan. We're not always sure quite what the heck it is. So here tonight, if you could be with us during this work together and help us kind of open our minds to some interesting new ways to think about goal setting. And, keep whispering in our ear a little bit about, as we're setting our ambitions and our plans for the year, maybe what your plan is. Maybe we can hear that as part of our goal setting. In your name, amen. All right. So let's see. We'll start on this one for a minute. So I didn't talk about this on Sunday, so this is new. Since I was thinking about when I talked about this a couple days ago, I thought of something I wanted to start with differently today. So how many of you guys have heard about the fourth industrial revolution? IR4. Oh, yes, good. If you wouldn't have raised your hand, that would have been bad. All right, good. So, but you've heard of the industrial revolution, right? Industrial revolution, first one, cities came. And that was like, we got this thing called a cottage industry, right? So that was, this guy in a cottage, he made the yarn. This guy in another cottage made something else. And they had to get the yarn all the way over to the loom and the loom over to the whatever to get the fabric. And I was like, you know what? Let's get together. Let's have industrialization. Let's get a city. So we're right beside each other. The loom and the farm and the sheep are right there or whatever, right? That was the first industrial revolution. Second one comes along, electricity, right? That changes everything. Oh man, now we can work 24/7. That's for you, Shauna. You can work 24/7. You don't have to ever go home. So we can work, we got lights, Edison, right? We got lights we can work, whatever it might be. We have lights, we got electricity-powered machines. Third industrial revolution comes along. That's the transistor. The transistor makes computers and switches possible, makes a whole bunch of different kinds of computing and mainframe computers and those kinds of things possible. But still, all through all that, all the power was located in big companies. It was set up where, in order to produce really high incomes or produce, big results, you had to get a big group together. You had to have and it was all these, remember the Industrial Revolution, the barons and the Rockefellers and all that, right? That's what it was all about. Well, here comes the fourth Industrial Revolution. Fourth Industrial Revolution is all about the personal computer and the fact that there is such a thing as an internet. In fact, sometimes people say, did you get into your computer? It's like, no, you're just connecting to the computer. It's all one big computer. We're all just connecting to it, right? It's the way I think about it sometimes. But anyway, that for the first time in human history has accelerated change at a rate that we've never seen. Change is, you guys have lived in it in your life. Like my lifetime, I started, I'm trying to think. I studied personal computers like as a senior in college. That was when it was starting, right? I mean, so you guys you never know any other way, right? Well, anyway, what the fourth industrial revolution has made possible is individuals in small groups, most powerfully small groups, to do anything you want. You have access to the whole world. So market's like one big market now, right? So lots of power, lots of influence in what we do. And then the biggest difference is when a big company, they have their intentions. Hey, we're going to go take this hill. We're going to go get this new product. And you could just have a career within there, and you could, follow their little promotion path. And at the end, there was a promise to pay you a pension and take care of you, right? So you were that was the old promise. You guys probably know that's not the promise anymore. There's no pensions. How many of you guys have a pension? A few might, big companies still. Not too many, right? So all of a sudden, what matters is we each have to have our own intentions. We got to figure out what our intentions are. Not part of the big company. We got to have our intentions, and we got to have goals and planning to get there. Does that make sense? All right. So that's what's different, and that's what we're trying to produce at our little companies, and trying to have people with intentions that we can line up with the business missions and go get it. So go ahead to the first slide. So what we're going to do today, how we speak about things and the language we use, that's how we can think. So, if you don't have language for something, you can't think about it, right? So what we're going to try to do is give a little some different language to help us with thinking about goal setting. So we're going to talk about goals versus commitments. That's something you guys picked up on. I saw it in the announcement, hashtag goals versus commitments or something. I'm like, cool, I'm a hashtag now. That's cool. Never was a hashtag. I've never been a hashtag before, except maybe hashtag goofball by my kids or something. And okay, and then we got balance versus harmony. This is something Sarah got me talking about a couple weeks ago, and I thought I'd share with you how I think about that a little different. And then ambition versus drive. How many people you say are driven in the room to get your goals? Right? I know a lot of you are, right? Me too. So we're going to talk about the difference, though, between just being driven and being ambitious. And then we're going to talk about the first two parts of a career strategy, which are ambition and philosophies of care. And that's really where we're going to work on tonight, about some different ways to look at how to organize your goals for the next for 2020 and as far out as you can think. Go ahead. All right, so goals. What's the difference between goals and commitments? What do you guys, who wants to take a crack at it? Maybe not somebody that was there Sunday. Somebody take a crack at it. Go ahead, what's the difference?
Goals is something that you strive for.
Okay.
Commitments is something that you're going to make happen no matter what, because you said you're going to do it.
Okay, good. Oops, sorry. Good one. What else? Anybody else take a crack at it? Go ahead.
More abstract, because commitments are more concrete, more
Okay.
likely to be followed up with
Goals can be
dates and steps and so on.
very good. So goals can be a little more abstract. Commitments are set with individual steps to get there, kind of thing, right? Good. Anybody else? Take a crack? Just different interpretations. Anybody else? No. Go ahead. You guys are on. Go ahead to the next slide. So, like I said, language matters. So, from Webster's, and this is how I think about it a little bit here. So, the goal, people talk about having goals, but that's just the end. That's where we're headed. That's kind of like a description of where we're headed. That's it. Commitment is an agreement or a pledge to do something. And really what, like I say, is to be at cause to produce something. You can say, I got a goal. That lacks that, who the heck's going to do it, right? So it's each of us, and when we make a commitment, we have to do it. The other thing we were talking about in the back of the room earlier with Seth was, okay, make a commitment to yourself. Sometimes it's a little more powerful to make a commitment publicly. So maybe that's what some of you guys can do around the tables tonight. We'll see if it suits your purposes, or maybe in a future meeting. So the think about commitments in terms of time. So there's right now in the present, the word for commitment is responsibility. So I'm responsible today. So today I'm going to be responsible, taking the next step on that towards that objective I'm getting to. In the future, you call it commitment. I'm committed to be at cause for that. And then in the past, it's accountable. So you said something about, what was your name? I'm sorry. Efren. Cool hat, by the way. Efren, you said? Yes. So Efren, you said something like with goals, what'd you say? It was, you kind of like to do it, but the commitment's like, by darn, you're doing it. There was something about that, like in your voice when you said it, right? So, so I don't know, why do you say that? What's the difference?
Well, I just have always looked at like goals as something that you're working towards, but sometimes goals change or you kind of move the goalpost, if you were. Whereas a commitment, you've involved somebody else in it. Instead of the goal just being something that's a personal. I think of goals as more of like a personal thing, and a commitment is towards somebody else.
Got it.
Somebody else is involved.
I
And
see.
me
Got it.
personally, I take my commitments a lot more seriously than my own personal goals.
Interesting. Okay, so then what happens if you don't make it?
It doesn't mean you have to give up.
Yeah.
You can still,
So-
like I said, move the goalpost a little farther.
Yeah,
That
so-
doesn't mean you have to give up.
So in other words, you don't make it with a goal. Is that different than not making it when you make a commitment?
Probably not.
I don't know. It's up. You guys have to make this up. I'm kind of putting questions out there, but I'd say that some people think, it was just a goal. I didn't quite get there, but commitment's like, we used to call it at our company. Every once in a while, we'd say no commitment-free zones. We got to make commitments. And here's the thing: people sometimes are scared too, because of that grind, that truth that you just said. Like, oh man, I might not make it, right? And the thing is, if you're going to do anything of any consequence in your life, whatever domain you're in, you got to set a goal. And to do anything of consequence, there's got to be a big chance of failure. I fail all the time, man. Ask Sean, I fail every day. I'm trying to do stuff. If you're doing anything, you're going to fail. Fair enough. Keep moving, right? That's the point. Fail. So I think of it like everything we're trying to do is an experiment, and we're either going to learn. We're going to learn from it. And so we're going to either learn, oh, that didn't work. I don't like that. That hurt. Or, okay, cool. I'm moving towards it, right? So it's that grind, that feeling. I was trying to get out of you, that thing like, I don't want to fail. Like, that's how it feels when you say the word commitment. Maybe not so much with goals. So what I'm trying to get us to do tonight is think about what you're really committed to, man. What is it that you really are committed to? Because that's the thing that your body's going to go do. That's what you want to go do. And then don't be scared to go far enough that you might fail. Because everybody I know fails. The only difference in the most successful people I've known in my career is you talk to them, you're like, man, it just seems like I'm always failing. I can't get done what I want to get done. You seem like you never fail. And you talk to them and go, huh? I fail all the time, they say. They just get over it quicker. The rule of thumb is 15 minutes, man. Bludgeon yourself. I'm an idiot. Smack yourself on the back. I stink. I'm terrible. Do that for like 15 minutes. You're allowed to wallow. And then off the bus and go to the next thing, right? What else are you going to do? So that skill will be the thing, but you got to set a goal big enough that it matters. All right, go ahead, the next one. The next idea was this idea of balance and harmony. So I don't like the word balance, and it's not the end of the world, but balance to me says that you got to give something up to get something. I got two things, and I got to do this with it. Something's got to go, right? And I'd rather have us think about how can we blend more together. Let's take care of all of our concerns. So go ahead to the next slide. And the way to do that is choosing those commitments very wisely, right? You can't do everything. You're one person. You got 24 hours in a day. You got the same 24 hours I have, but you can't manage time. Everybody, time management class. Nope, can't manage time. All time is going to do is tick. It's going to keep on going. You can't manage it, but you can manage your commitments. You can pick what to commit to. That's what's, and then we're going to work on like what would matter for you guys to be truly committed to, and then look for full moves. And the distinction of full moves. There's a board game called Go. Anybody ever play Go? There wasn't anybody on Sunday either. Yeah, this is not an old and young thing. Okay, this is an Eastern and Western thing. Okay, so this is Eastern and Western. Lots of kids play Go. All right, anyway, so Go is think of a checkerboard, 9 by 9, 13 by 13, or 19 by 19. These are different size boards. You put the stone on the intersection instead of in the square, right, of a checkerboard, and you're trying to surround territory. So the winner at the end has the most territory surrounded, either white or black. All throughout the game, you don't really know where you're at. Kind of like life, right? Geez, am I doing the right things? I don't know. Hey, God, what do you say? I don't know. I mean, what else is there, right? You don't know. You're just listening and trying to figure it out and using your gifts best you can. Well, in the game of Go, one of the distinctions is you put a stone over here, and when you think about it, you never want to be caught with putting any stone down that's like a single purpose, single move. Like somebody comes into your territory and you go, boom, I'm going to fight you and go right there. I took care of that one problem. It's like, no, you want to try to, in life, set a stone, like in Go, to handle as many purposes as you can. So you put that stone over here in the corner, you go, well, I'm gonna protect this top side. It'll help me with the corner. It'll also help me protect the middle, and I can connect to it to go down the left side, or whatever you might say to yourself. You're trying to make that move like that. So that's kind of like, I don't know. So I got my concern for family. I got my concern for body. I got my concern for, hey, that's not funny. What are you laughing over there, Efren? We got our concern. And I got, what else I'm saying here? I don't know. Maybe money. So I walk with I exercise with my wife and talk to her about our plan for saving. And I get it all done in one thing. I'm right. So you're looking for make a full move like that. Use that very limited time we all have on this planet to get as many things done as you can. Right. So that's the idea. Any questions on that? That idea? Full moves and harmony and balance. Go ahead. Yeah.
If there's a problem that requires more dedication than like a single move might be able to give. So like if you're doing a single move that's going to partially solve several problems, as opposed to doing a dedicated move that's going to completely solve one problem, is there a potential like downside?
It's a good question, man. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be, I'd say, what are you committed to in that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to know, right? One thing could be really important to go deep on for this season, for this period of time. Like, I got a really sick family. Or my wife is really sick, and my kid, and I got to focus on family more than anything else. But never to forget that those other concerns are out there. And if unchecked, if you don't brush your teeth, you're going to get cavities, period. You got to handle that body concern. If you don't take care of your family, you get going on crazy on work or something, it's not going to work, right? If you get crazy, money, well, then something else is going to drop. So you have the whole array of concerns. It's different every time, but I would say I wouldn't get, nothing's permanent, and don't lose track, I would say, of the other concerns. Keep, that'd be the best I could say. Because it'd be different for everybody, but that's what I could notice. Good, anything else? Questions? All right, keep going. So this drive versus ambition. We already raised the hands of a bunch of driven people around here, right? So drive. So drive, the whole idea of it's forceful. I'm going to drive to get my goal, right? It's single-minded a lot of times. What I always say, it can leave dead bodies in its wake. I used to have people working for me, especially when I was running businesses within big companies, and they'd get the job done. I go, really good. You hit the goal. You made the profit. Whatever you did. But there's people that are bloody all around that never want to work with you again. They hate your guts, but yeah, you got the deal. And there was a time when I was like, hey, let's go take the hill together. But that's no good. I don't want dead bodies. Well, that's what happens when people get single focus or whatever it might be. It could be anything. People most think of it in terms of career, right? I'm going to go up the corporate ladder. I'm going to get my next promotion. And then forget everything else. Forget friendships, forget sociability, forget membership, forget family, forget body. I'm going. And, I saw lots of people in my career that did that. And that's when I started going, I don't want to be that guy, or that guy. They don't know their kids. They never went to a Little League game. It's like, okay, I'm not doing that. And that's where small business came back into my world to be able to have a little more control of that. All right, now the difference between that. Now ambition, okay. Ambition is different. Ambition, to think ambitiously, which is what we want to do tonight, is to think about the ultimate situation and all the interim situations that you're out to produce. You got to make it up. Remember I said the IR4, nobody's got your intentions anymore. The company, they have their intentions and you might fit, but you have to create your own intentions for how you want to retire and how you want to live and all that. So you got to get good at that. So create your story about where you want to be, the ultimate, and then all the interim situations that you can think of. And we want to also include multiple domains. Nobody's taking care to make sure that you don't get too driven in one way because somebody's pulling you there. So you got to be in charge of remembering that there's lots of domains in your life and trying to balance all of them, which I'm going to give you an idea of 13 domains tonight. And then the biggest thing about ambition is it's not just that story of where you want to go. It's not just that the fact that you're considering all the different ones. It's that commitment, that dirty word, a commitment to act. The grind. I'm going to go get this thing, whatever that might be. Okay? All right, go ahead. I think that might be All right. So now the next couple slides, you can't see that thing. I think it says ambition on top there. So there's a 12-part strategy that I've studied for many years of my life that's around career and leadership. And we've done some things at the company about it. I don't think I've talked about it specifically, but it's 12 parts. And the first 2 parts are ambition. That's why we're working on that tonight, and philosophies of care. So we'll start with ambition. So ambition, a story of your ambition has 3 parts. First, your lifestyle, right? So it's how do you want to live? Whatever that is about you. You have your story about, I don't know, I like to ski. I like this. I want to have kids. I don't. I want to get married. Whatever the heck it is. What's your lifestyle, right? What's a good life? And oh, by the way, maybe what's God might have to say about that, right? You might listen about that a little bit. That might be good. Yeah, we got some head shaking over here. Yeah. All right, so we're going to listen for God too. But you got what your story is, how you want to live. Now, the thing is, everything takes money. Money's not evil. It's not bad. It can be used for evil. It can be used for bad. But we need it. We've got to live. So we can set a price to that lifestyle, whatever that might be. So you set that price. Got to know what that number is. How much is your lifestyle going to cost? Then finally you say, all right, if I'm going to make that money, I got to produce some business mission. I got to produce some offer in business that will be able to make enough money so that I can take care of the lifestyle. So those 3 things all connect. Business is where you're going to transact. We're all in business, whether we like it or not. That's the world. It's just transacting, shaking hands. I'll do this for you, do that for me. That's what all business is. So you use this to prevent sort of the unproductive drift. Anybody ever feel like you're drifting? Come on, man. You guys are young. I know you do, huh? Everybody feels like. I feel like that sometimes. Like, what happened the last 3 weeks? I didn't do anything I wanted to do. All I was doing was listening to Shauna the whole time. And it's not what I wanted to do. No, just kidding. All right. So, but people do it. People go 20 years. You guys are in your 20s and 30s, right? So, all of a sudden you're 45. It's like, how'd I get here? Right? 50. I'm like really old, like 50. Again, that's not funny. But no, I'm kidding. So, like me, like older than 50, like me. Anyway, so you and you're like, what happened? Well, if you weren't purposeful, you didn't have those intentions lined out. The story of that ultimate and interim situations. One thing I know for sure, time will go by. That's the only thing we know for sure, right? So you're going to try to avoid that drift. You want to make sure your plans are consistent and coherent with reality. So hey, I'm going to have $10 million in the bank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save $10 a week. It's like, that's not coherent with reality, right? So no fantasies. It's got to be real. Got to have some grounding to reality. And then the last point there you can't quite see is get out of task orientation and be part of a strategy. Be doing tactics. So what that means is being task oriented is, I always tell the guys over at the company this, if I ever ask you to do something and you don't know why, don't do it. Ask me why. Because I might be lazy and I might ask you to do something and I don't have a good story for why and how we're doing it. So help me with that as a leader, right? But then for you guys, you should ask those questions, or where you're leading, you should tell people that, because you can be in tasks. You ever feel like you're just doing stuff all day, doing emails, just pounding away, and you have no idea why you're doing it? Well, you could be doing the same kind of thing, but have a story like, okay, I'll give you an example. Answering a phone. Sarah answers a phone for us. You guys know Sarah from Scottsdale. So Sarah answers the phone for us. So she could be in a task where, the phone rings, I pick it up, I answer it. Hello. Or she could be in a tactic. Now listen, it's really important. What we care about is customer service. What we care about is being the best. We want to offer concierge service to our customer. Would it be different than every other construction company? So we want to take care of people and figure out what they care about and make sure we have an offer to handle it. So when you pick up that receiver, your idea is to get to the bottom of what they really care about and give them the best help you can. So which one? There's a task, answer the phone, hello. The other one is, hey, how can I help you? Why do you ask for that? Is there anything behind that? What else can I learn about you? And all of a sudden, it's a strategy. Her work is a tactic in a strategy of customer service. See what I mean? Same actions, same body doing the same things, maybe, but she's part of a different story. So we're looking to know how what we're working on is part of a bigger strategy. That's being strategic, and having things you do be tactics and a strategy versus task-oriented that you have no idea what the meaning is, okay? So that's the ambition. Go to the next one. And then philosophy of care. So what to care about and why. So there's there's a number of fundamental concerns. I'm going to give you guys a paper here in a minute. It's called Permanent Domains of Human Concerns. This is written by a philosopher that was a business philosopher, but also philosopher in life, like philosophers are. What's the meaning of life? Those kind of questions he answers. But boiled it down to 13 fundamental concerns. And you guys can try it on, see, but we're going to go through those 13. And what we want to do is we don't want to be wasting our time caring for things that don't matter, right? So we want to make sure we get a good story about what are those fundamental things, deep, as low as we can get to fundamentals. And then what's our story about why we would care about them. And we want to avoid that waste. Forget price of tea in China. I don't know why that's there. I think I was telling Sunday, my mom used to say, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China when I was a kid? I don't know why she said that, but that's why that's there. Who cares about what the price of tea in China is? I guess unless you're going to China, then you care and you like tea. But we're going to go for specific concerns, and we're going to look at human concerns tonight. Go ahead. All right, so those guys, so let's pass out that handout thing you got on your tables. You guys, everybody should have a one-page handout that's got 2 sides to it. I think I try to put 6 or 7 on every page. Everybody get, and then there's a paper. So we're not going to have time to read the paper tonight, but get that handout. Okay, so everybody get this handout like this guy right here. Everybody get one? Yeah, there should be a bunch there. There you go. Almost. We're getting there. How late are we going, by the way? 8:15. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're on track. So here's what I want you guys to do. Take a look in the back. See this part right here where it says the 13 domains? Take a minute. Read those 13 domains. Body, health, sickness, injury, availability, being, places, play, sociability, family, work, education, career, money or prudence, membership, world, dignity, situation, spirituality. All fundamental by the claims of this philosopher, and I accept. All fundamental. Not in order. It's not like spirituality is 13th. Like, not in order. They're just all fundamental, right? They're all equally fundamental. Take a look at them. See which ones trigger you. Pick 4 or 5 of them on the front, okay? What I want you to do is spend about 5 or 10 minutes yourself reading through them. Which ones trigger you? Oh, I got to work on that one. Oh, I got to work on that one. Those are the ones you're going to likely commit to. And then on the front, fill those in that left column. Just start with which ones you think you want to work. Let's start with that. We'll give you about 5 minutes on that. And then we'll come back and talk about the next steps. Now I want you to pick a partner, okay? You can get in 3s if you want, or whatever you want to do, but try to get a smaller group, 2 a year or so, maybe 3 if it's odd numbers, and talk about each of the ones you picked, okay? And explain to your partner, like, geez, why'd you pick that? Well, I thought of this because of this, that, or that, whatever you say, okay? And then talk about, each of you, talk about the first part of the second block there. It says your ultimate ambition. That's your ultimate situations you'd like to produce for that concern. So if you pick body, you might say, I want to be healthy. Your ultimate might be, I want to be healthy into my 90s. That might be like the ultimate. I want you to think out as far as you can, guys. It's hard sometimes to think past, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 years. 20 years, forget it. Just try to, as far as you can, 3 or 5 years, pick some situation, that ultimate situation, and then talk to your partner about a couple of interim situations. So if you go out 5 years and say, well, what do I want to do this year? What do I want to do by 21? What do I want to do by 22? So pick a couple of interim situations for each one of those. So talk to your partner about that and work on it together, if you would, on your concerns. Can we get a couple people to share what they're noticing? And when you do, I've been asked to have you grab that microphone. Speak right into it. So a couple of people share what you're starting to see when you look at some of these concerns or questions you have or anything like that? Cool.
This doesn't work. Oh, you guys can hear me anyways.
Oh no, it doesn't go through the PA, but he can still grab it. He can still grab the sound. It's okay. Go ahead. Then we'll get Shauna.
I guess when we're talking, I'm noticing that as we're thinking about the rest of the years that are ahead, let's say 5, 10, 15, 20, 50-year plan, like for mine was spirituality, and my ultimate goal is to live a life and leave a legacy of someone who surrenders all of myself to God, to His will, to what He wants to do in my life. And I'm seeing the challenges that I had now, and the roadblocks that I'm probably going to have in time. So it's more of the challenge, and then that makes me think, it's like, okay, so if there's a challenge, what is the solution for that next?
Cool. And it's a challenge in that domain, you're saying, in
Yes.
the domain of spirituality. Yeah. Okay. So do you have that was your ultimate situation. Do you have an interim situation? Anything you thought of?
We didn't get there,
That's
but
okay.
by 2020, there are traumas and a lot of scars that basically, for those who know me already know this, but those who don't, I'm in a process of healing and rebuilding almost, and so I want to be done with that healing, with that readiness to say, okay, now I am whole again, and I can go ahead and lead other people and
Yeah.
do the same thing.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, man. Thanks for sharing that. All right, Shauna, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say I only got through a couple of them, but I'm amazed by how simple it is. Like it's just for family. My ultimate ambition is just security, healthy relationships, and a sense of belonging. So, and even with education, it's just the free time to explore learning and to continuously learning. So it's not complicated, and it would just probably take small steps in making sure it happens. But in my mind, I thought it was more complicated than what it actually
Okay.
turned out to be.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? It's whatever you can see. You can make it super complicated, but it's whatever you can see now to say, that's what I'm going to set. And then stretch it out there a little farther and get a little bit more criterion standards on it. That's when it gets real. The grind of the commitment. So it's like, I'm going to learn 5 things, not just learn. I'm going to learn 5 new things and be measured by a test, or, whatever you say. That's when the commitment gets in there, right? Cool. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What'd you notice?
So one of the things that, even though I was kind of walking around back, I was thinking about this actually on Sunday, where you actually look at this and kind of tie it back to your full move side, and really, one that's coming back to me is kind of the body aspect of it, and actually more specifically, honestly, how you're feeding your body, because one of the things I had learned, kind of forgot, now I've got to relearn it, but is like how you eat is how you feel. And if you think about just eating healthy, and I'm not talking organic apples from Whole Foods that you spend your whole paycheck at Whole Foods, but just eating healthy, eating right. If you're nourishing your body correctly, and this also goes spiritually, but I mean, just look at this from a worldly standpoint. You're going to treat people. You're going to feel better about yourself. Your dignity is going to go up. Your family, your social life is actually going to go up. You may actually sever some bad things, bad relationships, bad company for good things. You'll actually probably save some money in the process. You might gain new membership. So, that aspect of body, not just physically working out or exercising, but just fueling it correctly, can change all of this in massive ways.
Super, super cool, man. Because what you just said, it's not just an example, right? And look you got like 8 concerns in there from one thing, and you just made that up. That's not like the perfect truth or anything, right? You just made it up for you. That's awesome. And that's how it works. You pick one, you push it out there, and you go, how does that affect all the others? And I was like, all of a sudden, eating better is not a task to just do. It's a tactic and a strategy to help you with your family and play and whatever else, right? Which all of a sudden it's like, it's got more meaning what I'm doing. No, that's great, man. Really cool. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Okay, so we didn't get on this topic yet, but I still want to share. So I know there are some people out there. I don't know about all of you guys, but some people are like, when it comes to education wise, like some don't mind it, some are skeptical about it, and some don't really like they don't really get it, because some there's some people who who either they do or they don't make it through high school, or they do or they don't want to go to college, you know, and and me myself, you know, like all 12 years, I was never really like I wasn't like the brightest, but I wasn't the worst, you know, I was just in between, and you know, ever since stepping out of high school, it's like I do want to further my education. I almost went to Mesa Community for a little bit, but you know, I never really thought you know, I would be like the brightest. So basically, it's just thinking about this. My ultimate ambition was with it's like I find myself learning more things that I actually really want to learn through actually literally through life itself, and even some jobs I have, including the one I have right now while working with people's insurance. And I'm not saying I don't want to go to college. I do, but uh, it's just hard. It's hard to explain. It's like I want to further the education, and, but I feel like there's another like route I want to take, but I still want to like stay on the route that I was on before, and I feel like for other people who's in pretty much in the same boat that I am, you know, they you know there's always a way. You know, like there's not like to everything in life, even if it's other things other than education, there's always another path you can take to still reach that goal. You know, it doesn't have to be just like that one straightaway path. Like, hey, go here and then you'll make it there. Go here and make it there. Like, no, it's it like it's always a different way if you really try to stop and think. Oh, you know, if I take this route, maybe that could actually lead me to right here. You know, so so I would say like maybe going into the new year, uh, and not just for me, but also for everybody here, is that like regardless of what goals you have, that's right there on the board. And if you feel like you can't achieve it just from that straightaway path, there's always another route you can take to always achieve it. There's more than one way. There's not just that one way that you know some people maybe like long before you came here that some people said no, the only way to this is to do this. You know,
So absolutely super cool, man. A bunch of things that you said in there, really, really well said. So when you go to your talk about education, right?
yeah, education.
So college can be a task, completely meaningless. I went down, I saw my son, he graduated engineering last year, year before, down at U of A, right?
Congrats.
I went to the graduation. Yeah, thanks. Great kid. But I go down there and I go to the graduation, and they go to the engineering graduation. It's like, I don't know how to say it. It was emotional, of course, you know, I'm dad. But it's like they're talking about how hard it was to get through the class, and it's very meaningful, right? Then I go to the main graduation, not to make it anything about one kind of degree or another, but there's a bunch of idiots. They're drunk out of their mind. They have no idea what they're doing, right? And it's like you just took $150,000 debt and you got nothing. You have no story, right? So I'll take that, what you just said, over that any day of the week. Seriously. So education needs to be purposeful. You need to have a story. Like, what are you doing it for, right? So if you're going to get a degree, I mean, go get it. But if you're going to go get it, why? What do you need it for? I mean, and I'm not saying you don't, by the way. If you want to be an engineer, you got to do it. They're not going to let you build a bridge without an engineering degree, right? Right? And they shouldn't. And they're not going to let you cut me open without a red doctorate, right? So that's all. But that's whatever your story is, your ambition, you're making it up. So why, for the sake of why would you educate yourself one bit? I don't have enough time a day. I don't want any more education. Oh, crap. I have to learn something or my career is going to stop. If I don't keep learning, I'm not going to have a career. And if I don't keep producing more valuable offers, I'm not going to make enough money to take care of my wife and save enough for us to, oh, crap. Oh, but I better listen to what God's saying. I better have a story about more than just this life. But especially, oh, man, it all connects, right? You're like, oh, darn it. But yeah, there's no way to do it. It's your way, what you say.
Yeah, because
And what God says, but I mean, what you say.
You know, like I said, you know, I haven't been to college. You know, I'm 22.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm already doing stuff that you actually would have expected a college graduate to do. You know,
You got
yeah,
it.
like
Good.
and I even got my best friend involved, and he's doing the same thing. You know, we both drive state of the art cars. We both got super high paying jobs and stuff that we didn't even think that we were going to be working in back in high school.
Yeah.
You know, so
Good
so,
for
yeah,
you, man. Congratulations.
There's always another path to,
Keep learning,
to
though.
success. You know.
Keep learning.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because you got whatever you got, right? And as
Yeah.
you keep learning, or the career goes, yep, right where you are. It's about what you got.
Yeah.
You should keep learning. Doesn't have to be a degree, but
And,
keep learning.
and to be honest, like that is the set goal that we
Yeah, great, man. Good.
Hi. I think what I heard too at our table is about the world. So, and one of mine actually ties in together. Like money is one of mine because I want to get out of debt, and I was
Yes.
telling my partners here that I wanted to be able to help people and be able to help my family and other people and go on mission trips and not be bound by I can't afford it because I have to pay this.
Look at that.
So
Mother Teresa needed somebody to fund her, right? Yeah, it's how it is, man.
yeah.
I've got to put my ties in there so other people that are better at that than me can do it, right? So, I mean, that's the game. So I'm going to try to make a lot of money so I can pay a lot of freaking tithes, right? That's what I'm after. So the only thing, can I poke at you a little bit? All right, because you said, I want to. Well, what was that word? Are you committed to? All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
So-
good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you want me to go deeper. Okay.
No,
yeah.
you don't have to.
Oh,
I'm just
like,
saying.
do you want
Well,
me
no,
to-
language matters. You go. It's okay. I mean, but I'm just saying. Like, and we all do it. We all say, I want to do it. I'm gonna. I think it's like no. That word commitment. It's like it's harder. It's like I'm out in public now. I'm saying I'm committed. Then I could fail. And people go, oh, she said she would do it. She didn't do it. Look at her. That's what makes it where nobody wants to say it, right? So that's all. That's why I was poking at you. Anybody else? Anything else at the tables? I guess we're probably getting to time. It's about 10 after. Now, we can spend a little more time if you guys want to mess around at the table some more and go after some of the interim situations. I'm not sure how far you got on that. I didn't give you much time. Look, guys, 50 minutes, an hour, no way, right? It just gets you started. The paper you have. Oh, do you want to do part two? We can do part two. We'll think of a part two. But there's a lot in the paper. Talks about all 13 of those concerns in a lot more detail. He's a philosopher. Read it a couple times. You're going to be like, what am I reading here? It's hard to read. He writes like a philosopher, if anybody ever read that philosophy work. But read through that, think it through. You want to spend a little more time tonight? I don't know. What do you guys want to do? We can go after interim situations and talk about that a little more, or we don't have much time, do we, Laura? What do you guys think? Sure. Why don't you guys at your table, why don't you work on trying to measure, put some measurables on the ones you started, right? Put something that you can measure for 2020. The first interim situation will be the end of 2020, right? 12/31/2020. On your most important one or two, how are you going to know you made it? You look back and go, I did it. What do you want to be able to say about it at the end of 2020? And then we'll just do a little quick check-in in a couple minutes. So we could keep doing this, guys, if you want, but I just thought maybe we should wrap just for respect of time. So anybody have some things you want to share by looking at those interim goals, maybe setting some 2020 interim targets on just a few of them? I know can't be done, right, in 15 minutes, but anybody have anything you want to share about what you noticed, or maybe share your 2020 interim commitments? You want to move out? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Move out. Move out. Go ahead. Yeah.
For education, I want to get 2 more certifications next year. And I know me, like I can't, as ambitious as I want to be, I know that I need to have people around me to get there. So for me, it's hanging around people who are learners, people who are on the same path, same track, to keep going.
Very good. So you said I got sociability, so then I better be strategic about the people I hang out with.
Right.
So sociability is friends and people to hang out with. So let's get people that have some common ambition with me.
Right.
So I'm doing the education. By the way, if I'm going to join a membership, or a group like this, probably ought to be a group that has some of those ambitions too, right?
Right.
And what else did you talk about? Certainly education. And then maybe that affects your career if it's certifications. I don't know. I'm guessing it does.
Yeah, it will.
Career is how you're known in the world and what you're trusted to be able to do over time, like your story about your history of accomplishments. So that's cool. Good. And 2, but you said you want to.
Yeah, two more. I have one. I want 2 more.
You just want to?
Yeah, I think just as far as
Two?
I mean, as far as my marketability, I mean, I really would like to do what my certification does. I'm not doing that right now. Um,
Yeah.
but having two certifications just kind of like shows everybody, like, you know, I know
All
what I'm
right.
talking
Are you
about.
going to commit to that?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Commit to it.
Mhm.
Because if you want to, then tomorrow you might not want to.
Mhm.
But if you commit to it, it's like, oops, you get that grind again. Like
Yeah. I
Everest.
mean, I think it's easier if you like it.
Yeah,
You know, if it's something that is just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm doing this so I can get money. Like, well, yeah, money is important, but if you like what you're doing, then it becomes easier.
Well, it might tend to be that the money comes because you're good at it and all the rest, right? So all those things blend. So yeah, good, man. Good. Got a commitment. 2 more certifications. I'll see you around. You go to church up here or down there? Up here? I'm going to look for you. I'm going to ask for you in a year. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, just if I see you on campus, I'm going to ask you how your certification is going. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, one thing that, you know, it's been mentioned a lot about education, but to kind of throw in a little bit of a big biblical reference, you know, one of the things we start off at the beginning of the year was Romans 12, and Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the, see, granted, I have my degree, on my education, I kind of knew what I want to do, but one of these patterns of the world that's actually biting people quite a bit is, and you touched upon it, I'm going to go get my degree, $150,000 in debt, and what do you have a degree in? I'm not slamming things, I want to be a social worker that pays $30,000 a year. And I'm like, okay, you've got to live, how do you pay that debt back? And, you know, it doesn't happen. So, you know, the notion of education, again, definitely take your time and think about the right steps.
Yeah.
You know, what that may take a little longer, but if you actually get through your education without a lot of debt, you're ahead of the game.
Just have a strategy, man, for everything you learn. Why are you going to learn it? What are you going to do with it? How's it going to help with your ambition? So great. Anybody else have anything burning? Then we're wrapping over. Excuse me, we're over time a little bit. You guys good? All right, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me. All right.
Thank you. Love, love, love that. I love, well, how Shauna says it's so simple. Me and Julia are like, simple. Yes, it seems simple, but I mean, just really pray about this. Pray about your ambitions. Pray about where God is leading you and guiding you and what he's whispering to your heart on these decisions and these goals, these commitments that you're making. It is Taco Tuesday, so every single Tuesday we go and grab tacos together at Super Burrito right down the street. So we're going to break down the tables and clean up here. And then, trick question, when are we back, y'all, in 2020? What date? January 7th. Thank you. Yes, come back. We're going to take the next two Tuesdays off. We'll be back here January 7th, and then we'll kick up our new series January 14th. Okay? Awesome. Have a good night, everybody. Join us for tacos.